Welcome back. This is Tim Thiessen Live. Our next guest today is Jim Holm. And Jim, welcome aboard. And Fabian Leyva, Boys and Girls Club in Fresno. And they're doing a great work here. And Jim, why don't you introduce yourself just briefly to our audience and tell us a little bit. Everybody hears about the Boys and Girls Clubs, but a lot of folks really don't know what you do. So...
Okay, I will do that. Well, the Boys and Girls Clubs of America is an organization that's been around for about 150 years, and here in Fresno for a little over 60 years. We opened our first club in West Fresno in 1949. Of course, it was for boys only in those days. Girls came later. And then over the years opened a second club in Pinedale and then in East Fresno, and now have expanded outside of Fresno into Clovis and into Fresno County. We currently have 17 clubs. And our clubs are open after school and into the evening when kids are out of school and need something positive and productive to do. We are looking at the possibility of adding an 18th club in Reedley. We're in conversation with the city of Reedley and the community about starting our 18th Boys and Girls Club there. And our clubs are for kids ages 6 through 18. They are membership clubs, that is, kids fill out an application and become a member of the club. The membership dues are $5 a year. And our idea is to help kids develop character and leadership, complete their education, graduate from high school, and go on to college. We also want to help them develop quality habits, life skills, and those kinds of things. So we're teaching kids to develop into productive, caring, responsible citizens of this country.
Jim, a little bit briefly about a lot of kids that join, is it just open to anybody, or do you really seek a target audience of?
Well, most of our clubs are located in probably lower income areas, but we are open to anybody. Any young person that wants to come can visit the club for a time or two, then can fill out the application, become a member. All young people are welcome.
Okay. Well, speaking of young people, we have Fabian Leyva with us here. And Fabian, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became acquainted with the Boys and Girls Club and what you're doing there?
Okay. Well, my name is Fabian, like you said. I'm a senior at Sunnyside High, and I grew up in a neighborhood where there's not a lot of great influences. But, you know, my brother one day came to me during my 7th grade school year, and he said, you know, come to the Boys and Girls Club. And he used to talk about it like so much. He would just tell me how great it was, and, you know, he convinced me to go in. And once I went in, you know, I felt like the sense of family there. It was just an amazing place where there was a lot of activities for boys, girls, teens, kids, everybody.
Okay. What are some of the things that you're involved in, or what are some of the things that you've really become acquainted with through the Boys and Girls Club?
Keystone. Keystone is basically a leadership program, and it has pushed me to be a great leader in my community and in the Boys and Girls Club.
Well, I like that word, push. That's good. That's good. But it looks to me like you're a self-starter now. So what are some of the things that you're learning in the leadership program, or kind of what's involved? That way our viewers really get a good feel for what's going on, because before this is over, we're going to be asking them for money today. So impress them.
Okay. Well, in Keystone, they teach you how to deal with problems inside the clubs with kids, and how to just be a great leader, just to stand up and speak, and just to say, you know, I have an idea and I'm going to put it out there. And those are some basics.
Okay. You're a senior at Sunnyside High School,
yes.
Is that correct? What's your area of interest, or, you know, I'm sure you're tired of it. Everybody asks you from the time you're 3 years old till you're 30, what do you want to do when you grow up? The scary part about this, though, Fabian, is my wife still asks me the same question. What are you going to do when you grow up? So don't feel bad about it when they ask.
Okay, so when I grow up, I want to become a commercial airline pilot.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
So I want to go down to Reed College and visit their aviation maintenance program.
Excellent.
Yes, that really interests me right now.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to personally hook you up with a flight instructor out at the Reedley Airport. Have you been in a plane before, small plane?
Yeah, I have.
Well, you want to go again?
Yes.
Okay. Just consider it booked. Okay, and I'll send you up with Dean Castang, who was on this show about a month ago. And he's taught over 5,000 people like yourself how to fly. And and I just happen to know somebody, your host, that owns a plane, and so we'll make sure that you're covered, okay? So
Thank you.
I'll donate the plane. Dean will donate his time. And there's always a question every time you go up with a flight instructor the first time is just remind him that your number of takeoffs and landings always need to be the same number. Okay? That's very, very important. Well, that's great. And, there's going to be a lot of opportunities in aviation. So you and I now have something in common. And that's really good. So we'll get hooked up, and I'll have Mr. Home contact me next week. And we'll set you up at the Reedley Airport and get you started, okay? And it will become a habit, all right? You just can't get enough of it. So anyway, Jim, why don't we talk about the business end of what you're doing? These organizations have a lot, and about adult volunteers and how our audience can really get involved in your cause here.
Well, we have between 5,000 and 6,000 young people that are members of our clubs, and we have another 5,000 or 6,000 that come in for an event or something like that. So we have about 12,000 young people in the county that we deal with every year. And one of the things that we need to do is seek support from the community for the work which the clubs do. We depend on grants from foundations, also interested corporations and individuals to support and to invest in actually changing the lives of people, so that young people who might end up making some very significant bad choices turn into a positive direction. So we operate entirely on either grants or donations or special events, and we always seek investment from those in the community who also care about kids and who are concerned about what's happening with our young people. They may be concerned about gangs, they may be concerned about teen pregnancy, they may be concerned about school dropout, and they want to do something to try to help young people make positive choices that will change their lives. And so if any of your viewers are interested in touring one of our clubs, they would be more than welcome. I'd be happy to personally conduct them, or we can arrange a tour for them. Fabian can show them around the club that he is a member of. We would be happy to talk to people who say, I'm concerned about kids, I'm interested in what's happening with kids, and I want to do my part to improve the quality of life in this community.
Okay, do you have a need also, besides direct donations and financial support, do you have a need ever for volunteers?
We use volunteers frequently. Yes, volunteers come in, they help kids with homework, they play games with kids, they talk with kids, they show kids how to do things. We have business people that come in and describe what their business is. They do mock interviews. They help kids understand this is what it would take to work for us in our business. This is why you ought to finish school and stay in school. So we can involve volunteers in all kinds of ways in addition to the direct financial support.
Okay, so we have career mentoring.
Job shadowing. If people would be willing to have 1 or 2 or 3 young people follow them around at their work for a day or so, we can arrange that. If they want to come in and talk to a group of kids about what they do, we're trying to give these kids goals and ideals and an opportunity to move forward in their life and make a good investment for their own future.
Well, that's absolutely excellent, and the reason I asked that question is a lot of folks that it's one thing we always do on this show besides our business focus and political focus, but then community focus like we're doing today, and really a lot of times it's futile to wait for the government to do anything, so we just need to get off our rear ends and do it ourselves. And a lot of folks right now, times are pretty hard, and they say, Tim, I don't have any money to give to this cause or that cause, but I do have some time. And so, folks, the number is on the screen there, or you can contact me at this show, and I'll get you directed to Mr. Holm. What's the direction for your organization going to be taking? Are you going to keep advancing and expanding? I understand you're going to try to open another group in Reed Lake.
Mm-hmm. There are so many communities in Fresno County that do not yet have Boys and Girls Clubs, but do have the kinds of problems that these young people face with gang development and teen pregnancy and school dropout and all of those kinds of things. And as communities become interested and people in those communities say, we're concerned about young people, we want to do something, We want to work in partnership with those kinds of communities to establish Boys and Girls Clubs there. We just recently opened our 17th club in the area of Fresno State, a club that is in an area where there's lots of kids and there wasn't much for them to do. And Reedley would be our 18th if that one comes about.
Well, that's great, and whatever I can do, Reedley's my hometown, so whatever we can be doing to help you there. We're going to be going to a commercial break here in just a little bit. The number's on the screen, so folks, please get involved. This is very important, as you can see here with my newfound friend Fabian, that positive influences do make a difference, and this is what it's all about, is building our community, and our youth are our future. So anyway, we're going to take a commercial break and be right back with Tim Rosales from the Wayne Johnson Agency in Sacramento. Stand by. Another half hour of excellent broadcasting coming up.